Hello and welcome to News Now. Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari has insisted that the country has made significant progress towards its target of successfully ending the Boko Haram menace. Speaking at a meeting with the Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon, on the sidelines of the World Future Energy Summit, President Buhari said in collaboration with the Multinational Joint Task Force, the Nigerian Armed Forces have driven the terrorist group from Nigerian territory into fallback positions. The president also assured the UN General Secretary that the country would persistently pursue global action to reverse the drying up of the Lake Chad and save the lives of those who depend on it for survival. In his reply, Ban Ki-moon commended Nigeria for the amazing progress it has made in the war against terrorism since President Buhari assumed office. Now, the Minister of Defense, Brigadier General Mansour Dan Ali, has arrived at the Osubi Airport in Warri, Delta State, for an on-the-spot assessment of oil facilities which exploded a few days ago. On arrival, he was met by several top military chiefs, including the Chief of Defense Staff, Abayomi Olonishakin. The minister will then proceed to inspect the areas where suspected militants carried out multiple bombings in oil installations in the Niger Delta area. The bombings are believed to have been carried out by militants believed to be loyal to embattled former Niger Delta warlord Government Ekpomupolo, otherwise known as Tompolo, who has been prosecuted by the anti-corruption agency EFCC for fraud, although he's refused to appear before the commission. He's also denied carrying out the attacks. The Plateau State government has confirmed that 2 more persons have died of the dreaded Lassa fever in the state. The State Commissioner for Health, Kunden Dayin, told newsmen that the victims died at the Jos University Teaching Hospital on Saturday. The latest development brings to 3 the number of persons so far killed in the state after the Commissioner confirmed the death of 1 person at Ting Village in Fombo district of Mangu local government area last week. Meanwhile, the epidemic has spread to Ekiti State as a patient on admission at the Federal Teaching Hospital Ido-Ekiti tested positive to the disease. The State Commissioner for Health, Olurotimi Ojo, confirmed the case in Ado-Ekiti on Monday at a meeting on Lassa fever. He said the female patient, a nursing student, had been quarantined at the hospital while efforts were being made by medical experts to treat her. Nigeria's federal government on Monday said 55 people in Nigeria allegedly stole a staggering sum of 1.34 trillion naira. The government says this was uncovered during its ongoing anti-corruption crusade, which has led to the arrest of some corrupt officials. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, who made this disclosure during a media parley with bureau chiefs of various media houses in Abuja, maintains that corruption has eaten into the fabrics of the nation so much that it has led to infrastructural decay, reduction in educational standards, and stifled economic growth. He added that the act was perpetrated between the period of 2006 and 2013. Minister for Solid Minerals, Kayode Fayemi, has reiterated Nigeria's government's intentions to diversify the nation's economy. Speaking at the management of the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, the minister said the ministry will work hard to share information on minerals in Nigeria and to use them to the benefit of Nigerians. Fayemi further explained that government is focused on improving every sector of the economy through alternative sources of revenue, seeing as oil prices are crashing across the world.
In the face of the dwindling fortunes of the oil sector, the oil and gas sector, we clearly are looking at alternative revenue sources for the country and alternative employment opportunities for our people. Some of the work you have done, which you've presented to us, really point clearly in the direction of what we really have to do in order to increase the level of resources available in the sector. You've managed to expose in your reports the hidden revenue that is being generated that is not recorded, either in our inland revenue sources or even in our own ministries' royalty sources. So that is clearly going to assist us as we move ahead in our policy formulation strategy and in our various needs assessments around what to do with the mineral resources that God has endowed us with. And we want to assure you that on our part, we would develop a much more clearly defined strategic engagement with NITI, so that the information available to you can always be shared with our own team, and this can always inform what we do here in order to strengthen the solid mineral sector in our country.
The Nigerian government has appealed to the media to join hands in sensitizing Nigerians on the damage that corruption has done to the nation, warning that unless Nigeria kills corruption, the vice is capable of killing Nigeria. Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed made the appeal on Monday while kick-starting the national sensitization campaign against corruption. At a press conference in Abuja, Mohammed stressed the need to change the narrative on corruption, especially what he described as the wrong impression that the war against corruption is being fought only by the president or the federal government or the governing All Progressives Congress. In his words, the war against corruption is not a vendetta against the opposition and is indeed not one-sided. A group of APC women leaders has actually condemned the move by female DCMPs to join the All Progressives Congress APC without duly acknowledging the women leaders. This is just as it said that such an idea is inimical to the course of the party and smacks of aggrandizement and disrespect to powers that calls the shot in the party. Now, this position was made known by the Deputy National Women Leader of the party while addressing the media in Abuja. She said that while the DCMPs have fulfilled the specification for membership, she called on the incoming members to follow due protocols by seeking the confraternity of women leaders from the ward up to the national levels.
It is wrong in the principle of protocol that female DCMPs should decamp their parties to join APC without acknowledging the women leaders, including the national women leader. In the constitution of our great party, there are specifications for membership, which I believe the DCMPs have fulfilled. But it is very sad that the other aspect, the need to queue behind the founding members, do not hold for them. It is disrespect to the national, zonal, and the state women leaders of the party that were branded with names during the campaign period by these DCMPs to overlook our presence and relevance in the party. It is very clear to us that with this their action, the confraternity in APC is far away from them. Rather, they are focusing on their personal interest of joining the party. As registered and financial up-to-date members, it seems like their interest is in the rights and privileges. It is all right, no problem. But they must follow the rules and regulations and queue behind, as President Buhari advised them some time ago. The need to redress this is very urgent, as several women who took active parts during the campaign and were insulted by these DCMPs are being relegated to the background by this same group that never believed in APC and her presidential candidates. On behalf of my national woman leader, the entire APC women leaders, I call on incoming members to do the right thing.
President Muhammadu Buhari has appointed Mohammed Abdallah as the new chairman, chief executive officer of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA. The secretary to the government of the Federation, Babachi Lawal, made the announcement on Monday through a statement signed by Bolaji Adebi, Director of Press of the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Now, according to the statement, the appointment, which takes effect from January 11th, will be for a first tenure of 5 years. Abdullah is a professional security officer whose public service career spanned over 30 years, during which he served in various capacities and strategic positions in the military. We'll take a short break now, and News Now will be right back. Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on TV360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions. Welcome back. Oil prices were stuck near 12-year lows at below $30 a barrel in Asia Tuesday as Iran ordered a boost to crude production after the West lifted sanctions, exacerbating an already oversupplied global market. U.S. benchmark West Texas Intermediate for delivery in February was down 30 cents at $29.12 a barrel, while Brent crude for March was trading 24 cents higher at $28.79 a barrel. Prices sank to new depths not seen since 2003 on Monday, a day after the United States and Europe lifted the crippling economic sanctions in exchange for Tehran's compliance with a deal to cap the country's nuclear ambitions. Iran immediately announced a major boost in oil production, with the national Iranian oil company saying it had ordered output to increase by 500,000 barrels per day. At least 10 people have been killed by a suicide bomber riding a motorbike close to a police checkpoint in northwestern Pakistan. About 20 people were also wounded in the blast, which took place in the federally administered tribal areas Fatah on the outskirts of Peshawar. There's been fierce fighting in the region between security forces and the Pakistani Taliban. No one has yet said they carried out the attack. The UN says the violence suffered by civilians in Iraq remains staggering, with at least 18,800 killed between January 1, 2014 and October 31, 2015. Some 3.2 million people have also been displaced internally over the same period, according to a new report. The UN accuses so-called Islamic State of systematic and widespread violence, including holding some 3,500, mainly women and children, as slaves. Alleged abuses by troops, militiamen and Kurdish forces were also recorded. UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Zaid Rad al-Hussein said the report starkly illustrates what Iraqi refugees are attempting to escape when they flee to Europe and other regions. Let's turn to sports now. The Super Eagles of Nigeria began their campaign at the 2016 African Nations Championship with a resounding 4-1 victory over Niger Republic. The Eagles secured victory through an early second-half strike from Moses Okoro and a brilliant hat-trick from substitute Elvis Chikatara. Coach Sando Olise had already expressed his confidence in his side's ability to win the tournament, and this superb victory will surely have done more to increase his confidence in his team. The Eagles' next opponent, Tunisia, were held to a 2-2 draw in their opening group game against Guinea. World number 5 Rafael Nadal has been knocked out of the 2016 Australian Open after suffering a shock 5-set defeat to fellow Spaniard Fernando Verdasco. The defeat, which is the Spaniard's first ever first-round exit, will raise fresh doubts about his future as he continues to struggle for form and fitness. Nadal led at 2-5 in the final set, but 4 consecutive Verdasco winners, including 2 directly off the return of serve, ended the match, which lasted 4 hours and 41 minutes. It was the second time both men had played out a 5-set thriller, with Nadal coming out victorious in the 2009 Australian Open semi-final. Verdasco will now face Dudi Sela of Israel in the second round. Quite sad to see how things are going for Nadal. It's really sad. We just hope he recovers and that he does well in subsequent Grand Slam tournaments. I believe he's not finished. Well, that's it in news now. Thank you very much for watching. Continue to stay tuned to TV360.